Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Trevor. Really grateful to have you here today. And in today's video, I'm just going to be taking a look at what I wore throughout the week. Last week is basically the first week of December, more or less. We're at I think the 12th is the date today, so like the 4th to the 12th. Without further ado, I'm just going to get right into this review here. So last Monday, I wore Tom Ford's ombre leather. I think I filmed last week's weekly rotation and mentioned that I was wearing this on that day. So this was really my first wear out of the house with this one since I've picked it up. Really quite extraordinary the way that they took the original Tom Ford ombre leather DNA and made it a little bit more wearable. While I still prefer the way that the original is super masculine and very much a little bit louder, the softness and like the little aspect of powderiness and elegant sort of velvety texture that the violet brings in this one is, yeah, it was just really awesome to be able to kind of walk around without feeling like I was really being that loud with such an amazing leather. I'm really looking forward to wearing this one some more. I almost reached for it again today, but I didn't want to be too redundant and leave some of the other ones that have been kind of flowing into my collection without getting a fair chance. But yeah, so this really amazing fragrance. Really glad I found this for a good price. Tom Ford Ombre Leather Parfum was Monday. Tuesday, so the weather near me it's pretty much how it is. As you can see behind me, it's been a little bit foggy, right around 40 degrees the entire week last week, a little bit cloudy. We had like maybe one sunny day the entire last week, but it's been pretty characteristically looking how it looks today. So Tuesday I went and reached for Fahrenheit Parfum from Dior. So I had someone comment and said that this is not discontinued because it's still on Dior's official website, but I went to Dior's official website, and at least in the US it came up with a error loading page for this one. But it's still kind of popping up at discounters right now. I think perfumeonline.ca, I've seen this one running for right around $130, and if you pay the shipping, it's like $7 or $8. I think you're going to be looking at like $150 for this. I still think this is a really great fragrance that you should probably go ahead and pick up if you've got the chance now before stock runs completely out. But yeah, I love reaching for this one when it's a little bit damp out and foggy and rainy and cold, kind of transitioning between the fall and the winter. This is a go-to staple of mine for those kinds of occasions because the violet adds that little bit of an ozonic touch to complement and harmonize with the dampness in the air, but then the vanilla and boozy notes in this also make it really a lot more wearable in the cold weather and allows the scent profile to cut through. Did get some positive attention on this one. Got a compliment. It was from a guy, not a lady, but it was still something that somebody asked me about and wanted to know where they could get it. So that's Dior Fahrenheit Parfum for Tuesday. Keeping in with Dior and sort of the really cold 40-degree damp weather, I went and reached for Dior Sauvage Elixir on Wednesday. This was also my first real wearing out of the house with this one, and I did get a handful of compliments on this one. A couple guys asked me where they could get it, and then a couple girls kind of interested as well, the servers at my work. So this one I was kind of expecting wouldn't go over and be as mass appealing as it was. It's got a little bit of like a stuffy quality because of the richness of the ingredients, like the richness and denseness of the ingredients, hence the elixir concentration. And like I said, it's got a little bit of an old school vibe to it, but it performed exceptionally well with the at least the people that were smelling me that day. And I personally enjoyed this a lot more wafting around in the air than I did smelling up close on my hand. I thought it was a little bit too spicy, but the aromatic qualities that come off of this and the sweetness of the lavender in the air were really quite magical. Really glad to add this one to my collection, and looking forward to get some more wears out of this one. Again, I almost reached for this one today also, but still wanting to give some chance to some other fragrances in my collection without being too redundant. So last Wednesday was Dior Sauvage Elixir. Okay, so despite it being this kind of foggy, cold, damp weather the entire week, there was one day where we actually had some sunshine and it was a little bit inching towards the 50s. I probably shouldn't have reached for this fragrance on that day and went for something a little bit more bright, but I think I was doing a full review video on this one when I got home from work, so I wanted to give it a full wear in the day. But that is Encre Noir à l'Extrême. So like I said, I did a full review video on this fragrance. I'll try to link it in one of these top corners here, so I won't spend too much time on this one since I do have a full review on it. But despite it being a little bit more sunny that day, it's still, like I said, it wasn't quite reaching 50 degrees, so this was always an enjoyable fragrance for me, other than in the extreme high heat where I think it could be a little bit cloying. But vetiver is the main note, so you get a little bit of like a grassy vibe, and that inky tone. But overall, yeah, this didn't, like I said, I didn't really get much attention from this one. This one's not that mass appealing, but it was an enjoyable wear for me, and it feel real classy wearing this one all the time as well. Again, I think it would have gone better with the type of weather that is going on for me here today instead of in the sunshine, but nonetheless, Thursday, had a great time wearing Encre Noir à l'Extrême. Friday, so I think last week I did both my top 10 December fragrances and then my top 10 foggy, rainy, cold, dark, transitioning from fall into winter fragrances. And this one was in the fall to winter transition list, and I decided to wear it that day that I was making the video because I hadn't in a little while. Prada Luna Rosa Black. Really glad that I got a chance to get this one in. Super enjoyable. Didn't get any compliments or attention on it, but this one does tend to sit a little bit closer to the skin with a good sillage though. But yeah, nice kind of powdery, a little bit tinge of greenness from some herbal angelica note in the mid, and then there's some really beautiful soft amber and tonka bean that adds almost like an etheric sweetness, like a very mysterious ethereal, foggy. It really accented the foggy weather that was going on that day. Really tempted to put this one on now, but I already do have a fragrance on for fragrance of the day. But yeah, I think this one might have been discontinued as well, but it's still available for right around $100. I think this is one worth picking up while you can. This DNA is, I think this is the last fragrance with this type of DNA that's still on the market. There used to be Van Cleef & Arpels Midnight in Paris, and then Bulgari Black in the hockey puck style bottle that used to kind of dance with this sort of DNA, but right now I think this is the last one that's really available on the market, and it's also being discontinued, so definitely check this one out if you haven't. Okay, Saturday. So Saturday was my one day of the week that I didn't really have much going on. I've got Saturday and Sunday off, and then Sunday I had an event that I needed to go to. So Saturday was my hang out at the house and relax and be cozy day for me, and I actually ended up wearing 3 fragrances that day. One when I woke up in the early morning, one after I took a shower, and then one after I ran out to my parents' house and came home and took another shower and kind of settled in for the night. So the one I reached for early in the morning that day was Jaguar Oud. So there's no oud in this one, but it's got a really nice, pleasant, smoky, festive Gaiac wood note with some cinnamon leaf, and like the warmth from the cinnamon leaf and then the smoky aspect from the Gaiac wood make this for a really nice, fuzzy texture. I actually mentioned this one in all 3 of these fragrances that I wore Saturday in a top 10 cozy cheapies lists. Because they all have a certain fuzzy texture that, whether that be through smoke or woods or synthetics like cashmere and things like that that make me feel like I'm in a blanket. So this is one of them that I wore that day for the warmth from the cinnamon note early in the morning, Jaguar Oud. And the second one that I wore, mostly because it's like very kind of soft and comforting and a little bit gourmandish, but also because it was a foggy day that day as well. And this one I think accents that sort of weather like we have today here, because it's got a certain earthy quality to it that's like it's really damp patchouli, hence the name of the fragrance is just patchouli from the House of Reminiscence. Nice cheapie. You can get it for around like $35. Smells like a mixture of damp soil and a chocolate cake baking mix. Yeah, like I said, just reach for this one to kind of enjoy and feel comforted and enveloped in something nice and warm. So I put this one after I took a shower on Saturday, Patchouli Reminiscence. And then finally, at the end of the day Saturday, I ended up going over to my brother's house to play some cards, and this is the fragrance I wore there, and I did get a compliment from one of his friends, and that is Bentley for Men Absolute. So this one kind of smells like a pile of sweet pencil shavings. Michel Almerac is the perfumer behind this one, so you know you've got a quality perfumer behind it, and it's also riffing on the same DNA as Gucci Pour Homme, which was the same perfumer as well. But yeah, just a nice fuzzy kind of pencil shavings vibe. Also feels a little bit like a blanket when you put it on. Comforting, relaxing fragrance for me that Saturday night, Bentley for Men Absolute. And then finally, ending off the week, I had a birthday party to go to. So my friend's daughter was turning 1, and my daughter's 8 months old, so me and her went to go to the 1-year-old birthday party. And I reached for this fragrance, I think because it has a pink juice, and I was going to a girl's baby birthday party. I wish I would have reached for one of the other flankers because it didn't really play into the atmosphere and the weather and everything as well as it could have, I think. It's still fine fragrance, and actually running a little low. I luckily have a backup bottle of it, but that is Guerlain L'Homme Idéal Eau de Parfum. So like I said, I kind of reached for this one because of the pink juice, going to a girl's birthday party. Performed perfectly well. It's kind of like a cherry leather fragrance, really unique. I kind of wish I would have reached for the L'Intense version, however, because it just had a little bit more of a rugged, I guess, versatile appeal to it. The L'Intense is definitely growing on me. It might even be my favorite in the line now. But this one was a pleasant wear, and I hadn't reached for it in a long while, just because I've been somewhat trying to conserve the rest of this bottle before I open up my other one. But yeah, Sunday was L'Homme Idéal Eau de Parfum. I think you can still get this one from Guerlain's website in Europe. I don't think it's available on their website in the US, but still at discounters for right around $100, and definitely recommend this entire line, even the discontinued ones, if you can find them for like under $150. Pick up and collect this line if you're a fragrance enthusiast at all, because it is one of my favorites in the entire landscape of fragrances. Okay, so that was my weekly rotation for the first-ish week of December. A lot of these were on some lists that I've been posting recently about transitional weather between the fall and the winter, and then my top 10 December list and a top 10 cozy cheapies. You can check all those videos out. I'll try to link a card up in the top here, but I'm also pretty lazy with all that, so it might be a little while before that one pops up. But I appreciate you sticking with me, hanging out with me, spending some time interacting and being on this social media platform together. Shout out to all my subscribers. I really appreciate all of you. It's been a pleasure to be interacting with you in the comments section. Part of my intentions with starting a YouTube channel was that I was getting a little bit bored with Facebook and Instagram as social media platforms, and this has been a really rewarding and joyful experience to be social on a platform in a way that's not so disheartening, I guess, since the other two platforms get really political anymore. So yeah, appreciate you sticking with me. Let me know what your scents throughout the week and your scent of the day is today, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.